is responsible for, if not all, most of the suffering we experience.
There was a time when Jim Carrey was the biggest movie star in the world. Jim Carrey's wild personality, kooky facial expressions, and outlandish sense of humor have been making the world chuckle since the 80s. However, behind the laughter lies a somber tale of real-life tragedy. Despite his talent, success, and fame, Carrey has battled inner demons since childhood, and these struggles continued to haunt him well into adulthood. Join us as we delve into the tragic story of Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey's childhood was hard. Jim Carrey's formative years in Canada were marked by significant challenges, particularly after his father lost his job in Toronto when Carrey was just 12 years old. This upheaval in his family's life left a lasting impact on the young actor, who grappled with feelings of anger and confusion. Reflecting on this tumultuous period in a Hollywood Reporter profile, Carrey candidly shared his struggles, admitting, "I was angry." He described how his father's hardship led him to blame the world, unaware of the deeper complexities underlying his father's emotional state. Despite the adversity, Carrey's father eventually secured employment at a tire factory where Carrey and his siblings pitched in to help make ends meet. Jim Carrey's days after school were no longer filled with typical teenage pursuits, but instead involved long hours working. Jim, along with his brother, would put in as much as 8 hours a day after school, working as a janitor and security guard at the factory. The demanding work and family circumstances took a toll on Carrey, leading to a decline in his academic performance and strained relationships. By the age of 16, Carrey made the difficult decision to drop out of school, a choice that deeply affected his father, who, although upset, did not challenge his son's decision. In hindsight, Carrey reflected on his father's reaction, acknowledging that while part of him wished for a different response, he understood his father's emotional turmoil. He grew up terrified that the Grim Reaper would come for his parents. Jim Carrey's childhood was overshadowed by a profound fear that his parents, heavy smokers, wouldn't survive. Recalling his anguish, Carrey described locking himself in the bathroom, tearfully anticipating their demise. His mother's casual discussions about her own mortality only heightened his anxiety, leaving him shaken to the core. These distressing experiences left a lasting impact on Carrey, shaping his perspective on life and death from a young age. Inspired by his tumultuous childhood, Carrey penned the children's book How Roland Rolls in 2013, delving into serious topics that often go unaddressed in children's literature. Through the book, he aimed to validate the profound emotions and questions that children grapple with, recognizing their capacity for deep reflection and understanding. Despite the initial shock of his mother's candid remarks, Carrey eventually came to understand that her behavior stemmed from a desire for attention and love. However, this realization came at the cost of instilling deep-seated fears within him. His mirror was his only friend. Jim Carrey's childhood was marked not only by fear, but also by bouts of profound loneliness. In a revealing interview with Interview magazine in December 1984, Carrey made a startling admission about his early years, disclosing that he spent much of his time isolated in his room, fixated on his own reflection in the mirror. "Well, I spent most of my time in my room staring at a mirror. I never knew I was supposed to socialize," he confessed. Despite the solitude, Carrey described the experience nostalgically, suggesting that he was simply having a good time, making faces at himself for hours on end. Further insights into Carrey's solitary upbringing emerged during a conversation with James Lipton on Inside the Actor's Studio, where the actor hinted at the self-imposed nature of his isolation. Reflecting on his transition from being a straight-A student to withdrawing from social interactions after dropping out of school, Carrey suggested that his aversion to socializing may have been a conscious choice. He killed at the Comedy Store, but not in the good way. During a candid discussion at the Hollywood Reporter's June 2019 round table, alongside other comedy legends, Jim Carrey recounted a particularly harrowing experience from his early days as a stand-up comic. Recalling a fateful evening at the renowned Comedy Store in Los Angeles, Carrey described the set as an exercise in self-punishment and punishment for the audience. Despite facing a hostile crowd who expressed their disdain by literally hurling chairs, Carrey remained on stage for an astonishing 2 hours, unwilling to yield to the overwhelming negativity. Eventually, Carrey managed to step away from the spotlight, albeit to a mixed response. "I finally got off stage to huge applause just because I mentioned I was going to leave the stage," he recounted, revealing the drastic turn of events. However, instead of exiting gracefully, Carrey resorted to an unconventional approach, crawling through the audience on his hands and knees before unleashing a provocative performance behind the piano, singing, "I hate you all, you gave me cancer." Unsurprisingly, the contentious act failed to resonate with the audience, prompting the majority to exit the venue, leaving only a handful behind. Despite his attempts at humor, Carrey left the tumultuous show feeling disheartened and deeply affected by the experience. Reflecting on the aftermath, "I got in the car and I cried all the way home," he said, "because I don't want to make people unhappy." Jim Carrey faced rejection. Jim Carrey faced numerous obstacles on his journey to success in the entertainment industry. Despite his determination, he encountered rejection after rejection. One notable instance being his unsuccessful attempt to join the cast of Saturday Night Live. Carrey's audition tape never made it to executive producer Lorne Michaels for consideration. Michaels himself confirmed to Vanity Fair that he had not seen Carrey's audition, stating, "Somebody who was there said, 'I don't think Lorne would like it, and they were probably wrong, but it doesn't matter.'" However, Carrey's resilience ultimately paid off, leading to his triumph in Hollywood. Remarkably, he harbored no resentment towards Saturday Night Live or its decision-makers. Instead, he went on to host the show 3 times and participated in its 40th anniversary episode in 2015. Jim Carrey lost his parents when he was becoming famous. As Jim Carrey was making strides in Hollywood, he grappled with a profound sense of personal loss. Within a relatively short span, he lost both his parents, his mother in 1991 and his father in 1994. Reflecting on his father's life, Carrey shared in 2014 how his father's choices influenced his own journey. Despite possessing immense talent, Carrey's father was hesitant to pursue a career in entertainment due to fear. Carrey observed, "So many of us chose our path out of fear, disguised as practicality." Instead of pursuing his passion, his father opted for a safer route, working as an accountant. However, when his father lost his job, he was compelled to reconsider his choices. This experience profoundly impacted Carrey's perspective on failure. He realized that even seemingly secure paths can lead to disappointment. He has been through several depressive episodes. In a candid interview with iNews back in 2017, Jim Carrey opened up about his struggles with depression, revealing that he had experienced several severe episodes throughout his life. Reflecting on his journey, he disclosed to CBS in 2004 that he initially turned to antidepressants but grew wary of potential long-term dependency, prompting him to discontinue usage. Carrey described being in a state of low-level despair, where he could function daily despite an underlying sense of sadness. During an appearance on TIFF Long Take, Carrey shared his optimistic perspective on depression, influenced by Jeff Foster's philosophy, "Depressed is deep rest." He differentiated between sadness, typically triggered by specific events, and depression, which he described as a rejection of the persona one presents to the world. Embracing this insight, Carrey learned to recognize when his mind needed a break from playing a role. In his iNews interview, Carrey acknowledged that while he still encounters periods of unhappiness, they differ from his past depressive episodes. He likened these moments to passing showers, transient, and unable to overwhelm him as they once did. Despite the challenges he faced, Carrey found solace in knowing that he had navigated through the darkness and emerged stronger on the other side. He became obsessed with art to mend his broken heart. We've witnessed Jim Carrey grace the red carpet alongside numerous beautiful women, but perhaps one of his most notable relationships was with fellow actress and comedian Jenny McCarthy. Their 5-year partnership came to an end, with McCarthy reflecting on their bond during an interview with Oprah Winfrey in September 2010. She candidly remarked, "Those moments where you saw us together, was it love? You're damned right it was. The problem is there wasn't a photographer when the times were rough." Following their breakup, Carrey found solace in art, viewing it as a form of therapy. In the documentary Jim Carrey, I Needed Color, he revealed how painting and sculpting with clay aided in healing a broken heart. While not directly naming McCarthy, the timing of his artistic endeavors coincided with their separation. Reflecting on this period, Carrey shared, "When I really started painting a lot, I had become so obsessed that there was nowhere to move in my home. Paintings were everywhere, they were becoming part of the furniture, I was eating on them." He's been called a hard guy to date. Jim Carrey's romantic history has been anything but dull. He tied the knot with actress Melissa Wimmer back in 1987, and the couple welcomed a daughter named Jane before parting ways. Later, he walked down the aisle with his Dumb and Dumber co-star, Lauren Holly, in 1996, but their marriage ended in divorce the following year. Carrey's love life continued to be tumultuous, including a broken engagement with his Me, Myself, and Irene co-star Renee Zellweger. Amidst reports of his split from Jenny McCarthy, those in Carrey's inner circle shed light on his challenging relationship dynamics. Describing him as a hard guy to date, one insider told People, "Jim can run hot and he can run cold. He is someone who desperately needs to be with someone, then just as desperately needs to be alone. But at the same time, he can be a very loving, very compassionate guy." Jim Carrey lost his own identity while method acting. In 1999, Jim Carrey took on the challenging role of portraying the late comedian Andy Kaufman in the film Man on the Moon. His performance was nothing short of captivating, earning praise from critics who hailed it as eerily dead-on, according to Rotten Tomatoes. Even renowned movie critic Roger Ebert was impressed, noting that Carrey successfully disappears inside the character. Carrey himself acknowledged the depth of his immersion into the role, revealing in a 2018 interview with The Talks that it made him confront a darker realization. He had the capacity to lose himself in a character. It took him a full month after filming to reconnect with his own identity and grapple with profound questions like, what do I believe? What are my politics? What do I like and dislike? The dangers inherent in method acting, a technique described by The New Yorker as linking emotional moments from a performer's life to that of a character, have been widely discussed. Carrey candidly admitted to The Talks that he felt depressed after portraying Kaufman. Reflecting on the experience, he questioned, "If I can put Jim Carrey aside for 4 months, who is Jim Carrey?" It was a profound exploration into the depths of identity and the consequences of immersing oneself fully into a character. His ex-girlfriend's tragic death led to a legal battle. Jim Carrey's relationship with makeup artist Catriona White made headlines for its controversy. They met on a film set in 2012, but tragically, White took her own life in September 2015 through an overdose of prescription drugs. Carrey, deeply affected by her passing, even served as a pallbearer at her funeral. However, the aftermath of her death was marred by legal battles. White's estranged husband, Mark Burton, and her mother, Bridget Sweetman, sued Carrey for wrongful death. They alleged that Carrey had infected White with 3 STDs without warning her and had supplied her with the painkillers she used to end her life. In response, Carrey filed a countersuit, claiming that White had attempted to extort him in 2013 by threatening to disclose her STD allegation. He also argued that the wrongful death lawsuit from White's family was another attempt at exploitation. The legal proceedings turned contentious, but in January 2018, the entire case was dismissed, as confirmed by Carrey's representative in a statement to The Hollywood Reporter. Following the dismissal, no further details were provided by either party. Carrey's lawyer did express the actor's eagerness to move forward and put the legal ordeal behind him. Jim Carrey has had a tricky relationship with fame. Jim Carrey isn't exactly fond of the fame that comes with being a Hollywood star. In his fictional autobiography, Memoirs and Misinformation, he delves into the complexities of fame and its darker aspects. In one striking scene from the book, Carrey decides to dress up before going to bed, just in case he dies during his sleep. This morbid decision stems from seeing images of John Lennon's lifeless body online. It serves as a poignant reminder of the harsh realities of celebrity life. Reflecting on fame, Carrey expresses discomfort with the notion that even in death, his privacy may not be respected. "That's a very weird thing to know about yourself," he remarked. "That when I die, someone is going to take a picture on the operating table and sell it." Despite his public persona, Carrey has always been guarded about his private life and maintains a skeptical view of fame. He recognizes that fame comes with a loss of personal space and constant scrutiny. "I don't believe in personalities," Carrey once stated. "I believe that peace lies beyond personalities, beyond invention and disguise, beyond the red S you wear on your chest that makes bullets bounce off." Jim Carrey's career has suffered. While Jim Carrey's acting prowess is undeniable, his journey in Hollywood has been marked by both triumphs and setbacks. In recent years, acting has taken a back seat for Carrey, but his passion for the craft remains intact. In a 2018 interview with the Associated Press, he expressed how acting serves as therapy for him. Reflecting on his career trajectory, Carrey remarked, "It's unfathomable to me that life somehow ended up in this direction and at this place of, being able to do something, alchemize our pain and turn it into something beautiful, and be recognized as well, for it is an incredible thing." He emphasized the importance of artists addressing difficult issues rather than shying away from them, seeing it as part of his artistic responsibility. Carrey also shared insights into why he's been less prolific in his acting endeavors. He revealed that the increasing influence of corporations in the industry diminished his interest in traditional acting projects. Feeling the need for a different outlet of expression, he turned to painting as a means to channel his emotions freely and explore new creative avenues. Jim Carrey has spent a lot of time alone. Following the loss of his former partner, Catriona White, and the legal battles with her family, Jim Carrey opted for solitude, spending considerable time alone and isolating himself from the world. In a 2018 interview with the Radio Times, he disclosed his comfort in solitude, dedicating himself to activities he enjoys, such as painting and sculpture. Aware that his preference for isolation may seem unconventional to some, Carrey stated, "I spend a lot of time by myself, but I like being by myself, so it's okay. That might be strange to some people, but I enjoy it." Despite his solitary lifestyle, Carrey hinted at maintaining a dating life, suggesting that while he values solitude, he hasn't entirely abandoned the possibility of finding love again. Jim Carrey has achieved so much, but he's still unhappy. Jim Carrey once stood atop the entertainment industry's hierarchy, commanding a staggering $20 million for his role in the 1994 hit film Dumb and Dumber. This unprecedented paycheck sent shockwaves through Hollywood, as reported by the Los Angeles Times. However, Carrey's financial success didn't bring him the fulfillment he sought, leading him to take a hiatus from the spotlight. "I just didn't want to be in the business anymore," he candidly admitted to The Hollywood Reporter. "I didn't like what was happening, the corporations taking over and all that. Before his return to television with the 2018 Showtime series Kidding, Carrey shared with The Talks that he underwent numerous awakenings that prompted deep introspection. What are we? Why are we here? And the answer to both of those questions is nothing, no reason, as far as I am concerned, he reflected. When pressed on the catalyst for these profound moments of self-discovery, Carrey attributed them to reaching a point where he had everything society deemed desirable, yet remained plagued by discontent. While Carrey acknowledged the role of suffering in fostering compassion and ultimately liberating him, there's a discernible shadow lingering behind the comedic brilliance of this legendary entertainer. As we delve into the complexities of Jim Carrey's life, it becomes evident that behind the laughter lies a profound journey marked by triumphs, tragedies, and existential reflections. Despite his immense talent and success, Carrey's quest for fulfillment has led him down dark and introspective paths. Yet, amidst the shadows, there's an undeniable resilience and a quest for deeper understanding that continues to define his narrative. What lessons can we draw from his experiences? How can we navigate our own paths to find meaning and fulfillment? Join the conversation by sharing your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more insightful content on the tragic yet compelling narrative of Jim Carrey's life. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.